Welcome to another exciting episode of Real Estate As Is, the podcast where we delve into the world of real estate and discover the stories behind successful realtors. I'm your host, Jessica Science, realtor, mom of three, and broker at JSL Living. Thank you again for tuning in, and today we have another special guest.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Abby, and I'm with Greenpoint Insurance. We are a local insurance provider.
Abby, so we just want to know a little bit more about you. And, we love to give at JSL insights to new homeowners on, insurance. And so can you tell us a little bit about, what knowledge you can share with our clients that are going to be purchasing a home, that they should be knowing about insurance right now?
Definitely pay attention to or look closely into get those inspections on the roof. Many times a roof inspection from through the realtor's end is very different from an inspection from your insurance provider. The insurance provider, the insurance company is going to be a lot more picky.
Right.
A lot of times customers will say, but the roof passed. It was approved.
Right, like it barely passed though.
But yeah, that's what I say. It was approved, and then the insurance carrier will go and do the inspection,
right,
and all these things will come out, and then they're upset because they've already closed on this home.
Right, and so for our agents, just to go back on that is that sometimes the roofer, as long as it has 3-4 years of life expectancy, it will pass. And it can even pass FHA because there's still life to the roof. But for insurance, it means different. It means it might not survive a storm. Yeah. So you all look at it in basis of claims, right?
Yes, definitely. The roof is the most important part of the home. The one that they pay the most attention to, that they're more very picky about.
Okay. Do you have any tips, tricks, anything that, that for sure the client should be looking into when they look at coverage, like, the dwelling, personal property, liabilities, any living expenses that they should be looking at when they're looking for the insurance?
Yes. So you always want to make sure you get the most for your money. This is what you're working for every day, to take care of your home, of your personal belongings. So always make sure that they are providing that coverage to you. Like she mentioned, your personal property, additional living expenses. For example, something happens to your home and you've got to stay at a hotel for X amount of time. That is very important because that does happen where the house is damaged and you have nowhere to go. So those are some things that you do want to see that you're being offered that coverage when you are being quoted, when you're in the process of getting your home insurance policy.
Some of the things that we see, right, in the real estate world is, okay, we're looking for the payment. So they look at a home, they're looking at their payment, everything looks good, and they try to fit in the insurance quote that is the cheapest to be in a comfortable payment. Now, what happens, let's say in the summer, that's when our ACs give out, that's where the storms come in, hurricane, wind, whatever. So let's say that happens and they just purchased and now they want to do a claim and nobody talks about this one important thing before they do the claim. Which the deductible.
Oh, deductible.
So when they're shopping for it, they look for the minimum. Yes. I just want to afford my payment. They get the home. Well, now something has happened.
Yes.
What now?
So the deductible, that is what we always forget to look at because we want to get that nice monthly payment.
We just want to get in the home, girl. Yes. We just want to get in. Like, we don't want to stress about that yet.
And hopefully you don't ever have to use your insurance. That would be a great idea, right? But then things do happen.
Right.
Your deductible is always super important to pay attention to. Pretty average in the Hidalgo County is a 2% deductible for wind and hail and a 1% for perils, meaning that's what you are going to pay out of pocket. So, sometimes you want to get a 3 or 4%, I think even a 5% might be accepted through some mortgage companies as a deductible, but then you're going to have to pay that back when it's your turn. So don't get tricked by, a high deductible with a low premium. It sounds nice, but at the end of the day, it will be more expensive.
And always know who to shop for. Get those bids, but get those bids where you're actually seeing your coverage.
Yes.
Because it's so important. So one of the biggest things, and we're hearing this, in the state of California, we heard Allstate and State Farm are reducing the coverages of most homes because of all the claims. I mean, people have come back and said, our prices are getting spiked up. Again, it's definitely for the natural disasters that have happened, all these claims coming from everywhere, hail, whatever. How are we combating this? How are we helping? I mean, obviously, on our end, when our clients are doing the inspections, we got to make sure that we negotiate prior so that they are able to get these these good insurance policies for them. But what other things can they is available for them, options to reduce those costs, because insurance has gone up a lot.
Most definitely, especially this year. We have seen a significant increase on the home insurance policies. There are a few things to help bring down your price, and it all varies from carrier to carriers. It's not all the same, but pretty much, you can get discounts here and there for having your alarm security system. There are different ways to get discounts to help you with your premium.
Okay. As long as they have things in order, we can figure out. So it's so important not only to look at the coverage, but to see and really fully get the detail of the property, because if you all can get them discounts, if they have certain things that are helping out, you all are able to also give deductions because they're helping the situation. So are there any regions that you would consider high risk and lower risk regions that are, we should know where insurance is going to be for sure more expensive or less expensive, or what to look out for?
So definitely, yes, your Cameron County, anything in Cameron County is going to be way higher.
Okay.
Because it's just a lot, it's considered coastal. Then, South Padre, it's going to be even higher just because obviously you are on the beach.
The hurricanes,
Yes.
the flooding.
Definitely.
Everything, for sure. Okay. And there are areas that are, so Hidalgo County is a lot less. I mean, we have a lot of flooding issues, but it will be a lot less than
Yes,
Cameron County.
we're considered a tier 2, so we're not that much of a risk, but we're still kind of, we're in between. Once you get to Stark County, it does, the price is reduced, or the premiums are a little lower because of that. They're not as exposed to any coastal areas.
Perfect. And so, like we like to say, if the home is used, it's going to be more expensive on the insurance. If the home is brand new,
Correct.
the insurance is cheaper.
So the younger the home, the cheaper the insurance.
Because
The older,
it has certain warranties and
correct.
stuff like
Well,
that.
and because all the material is new.
Right.
So as the house is getting older, there's wear and tear. There's just things that are more likely to happen.
Okay.
That could happen, and so the risk is higher. So the insurance is a little higher.
Can you give us a scenario of what situation or little things that have happened to look out for, and to because we're always learning, and as a dedicated real estate advisor, we love to prepare them for everything. We want to make sure that that we're advising them properly, that we're connected to the right people, so that it can be a great experience. But not everyone's doing so. So we would like to educate and get it out there. What are some situations that you've seen, and they come to us, please help me. This has happened to me with somebody else. What is something that has happened that that we can share with everyone?
So definitely the two things that we've already talked about. It's that premium, where they just see the pretty number, and then they're stuck with, they're having to pay a deductible because they weren't explained how these deductibles work or how we come out with these numbers. Those are always definitely the two things that are always an issue once they've closed, and and this isn't right away. This is 2-3 years after they've closed on their home, and then something has happened, and now they're surprised, like, what? I didn't know this. Nobody told me that, and that's always. That's the scenario that always happens. Yeah. So just definitely ask the questions, compare if you are going to get quotes, elsewhere, or if you're happy with your agent, just ask all the questions. Definitely. That's what we are here for.
Yeah. And so we like to refer people that, have a lot of knowledge in the insurance world, and, that can help with your expertise to help them shop for the right things. So has climate change been a big factor in the insurance industry? And, I know it's affected a lot of the homeowners. I mean, nowadays we don't even know, sometimes when something's going to hit us. But, is climate change a big factor for you all? How do you all
So recent, well, right now, well, not right now, but I guess what was it, like in April when we were getting all the storms, we were getting hit almost every week, or sometimes it was like twice a week. Definitely, we still are working with the turnaround of the claims. There was a lot of claims that were done in April,
Right.
and then because of that, that has caused a lot of companies to get very strict.
Very more and more
Very
strict.
strict. They are cutting out a lot of properties because they're
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's really scary. Well,
Yeah.
so how can, I mean, is there anything available, resources or anything that can help, that can help with protecting their property? I mean, what things are offered, or resources are offered out there so they can adapt to these climate changes?
The effect on how they get to finalizing what caused the loss. But when it's something like this, what happened in April, like you mentioned, yes, definitely it would be a great investment to get a generator, because what we've seen a lot is food spoilage. So you don't think
Yeah,
about
the light
it. Like
goes
you
out
don't
and then
think
their
about it.
fridge.
Yes, and then your food. There's people that have a lot of meat stocked up, and then they want to make a claim. You can make a claim, but guess what? You have a deductible you have to meet. So that's where it gets a little tricky. So yeah,
Everything's going to boil down to that deductible and what coverage you have,
yeah, I mean, so definitely if there is
a certain criteria that you
yeah,
will.
so there's like the obvious, like the storms that happened and all the shingles that were lifted, and it was known that there was this big storm in the valley, and so there's that proof that this did happen. Then there, you have some customers that want to say, there was hail.
Lightning
Right,
sometimes, girl,
but no,
lightning.
sometimes there wasn't hail, and then they want to say there was hail.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
so that definitely that's no, because they
That's a
do
big
check.
no-no.
They do check to the weather reports in the area.
They get picky.
Yeah.
Oh, they do their research.
They definitely do their
Don't think
research.
they don't.
No,
They
they
do.
definitely do their research. Yes. Or they'll say there was wind when it was just a regular, windy day, not a wind storm that like what was happening in the month of April.
Right.
In April and May.
So Abby, what we want to emphasize on is when they're choosing the right coverage, what are some of the coverages that we want to focus on for the clients and their premiums?
Okay, so you definitely want to focus on how much the home is being insured for, and then your personal belongings.
Your biggest assets.
Your biggest assets is what you work for. It's what you work for every day to pay for your furniture, your home, your your electronics, your appliances, all that stuff. That's where you want to focus your money going to on your premium. Now, some of the things that you can opt out, some of them you can opt out on, or you can try to get the least coverage. It's going to be your personal liability and your medical coverages to others. This applies for people that visit the home and might get injured on your property, something like that.
Yeah, bring it down.
Yeah, those definitely you can try to bring those down.
Don't be visiting my house and falling,
Yeah,
please.
don't. Yeah, those are some of the things that you can try to mess with. Another one that is very important, even though if you're not in a flood zone, it is important to have flood insurance.
And that's usually sold separate, right? I mean, most people sell it separate.
That
I
is
purchase it separate.
Yeah, so some are separate, and some of them you can add it onto the same policy you have. There are some carriers out there that include it all together. But it's optional. Again, it's not mandatory unless you are in the flood zone. But given what's happened in the past, it's just, I do recommend.
I mean, in the region we're in, it's more likely that it could happen.
Yes.
And so just protect yourself.
So that example that you just gave, like a water heater or a pipe bursting, that would be considered accidental water damage on your policy.
Okay.
That would be your homeowner's policy. That is important, especially, I mean, it could happen with any home. Your older homes, it's most likely that can happen.
That can happen.
Yes. So that would not fall under a flood policy.
Okay.
But it would fall under your home insurance policy as an accidental water damage.
Perfect. Well, that's good stuff to know. I mean, so for us, just so we recap, is we're looking for a property, depending on the property that we're looking for, those inspections, we know that you all are going to be super adamant about the roof, how the age of the roof. So then we want to go and make sure that we're talking to the inspector, that they're helping clients negotiate properly. Then coming back to the insurance and making sure our clients are looking at all these things so that they get the right coverage. In case something happens, they knew exactly what the deductible was. And now it's like their purchase price might change depending on what insurance they got. So it's so important that their payment, is comfortable, it's good, but that the insurance that they're choosing is not the lowest just to cover for that bigger home.
Exactly.
But it's the best one for that home.
Yes.
Because many things can happen. Well, thank you to all our listeners for joining us today. This is Abby.
Thank you for having
glad
me.
to
Thank
have
you.
you. Thank you for coming. And if you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to call us.
Yes.
And thank you again, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.